From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And it is 5 o'clock here on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
Lauren, good morning. I'm Rafael Sanchez, and here are your headlines on this October the 13th. They vote yes, now giving Marion County residents more say in police procedures. New this morning, reaction to this controversial proposal.
A federal protection is in place to help renters keep a roof over their head during this pandemic. But Hoosiers across the state are still at risk of being evicted. WRTV investigates, finds out why and what you need to know.
And new artwork in downtown Indianapolis will now honor the legacy of a Holocaust survivor. What we know about the plans for the mural in honor of Eva Kor. Good morning to you on this Tuesday. I'm Rafael Sanchez, coming to you live, as you know, from your official living room here in Johnson County as we continue to social distance. My good friends Lauren Casey and Todd Clausen in Studio A. And guys, I stepped outside a few moments ago. It feels chillier than yesterday. And I imagine, Todd and Lauren, this is going to be sort of a relative of degrees, right? It's going to get cooler as we go through the next several weeks.
Well, and Raphael, you may notice that Todd doesn't have his coat on, and it's because he grabbed his jacket for going outside and forgot his suit jacket. So,
can I say something?
Before you say anything.
I know. Well, first of all, I want to say this. So I was watching at 4:30. I thought, is that the new look? Because I could break out the whole, robe and the vest, and I could get more comfortable here in the living room.
No, I grabbed my coat because it was cold outside this morning, and I forgot the suit coat. And then I went to the, the changing room here at the station. Put it this way, Kevin Gregory's coats go like way out here on me, and Brad Brown's coats were a lot smaller for me, so I was out of luck. So this is what you get here this morning. Outside right now, we're dealing with clear skies all across the area. There's been a little bit of patchy fog that has settled in, but otherwise we are in good shape. But here are those temperatures that we mentioned, and we're in the 40s this morning. 43 in Indy, 41 in Lafayette, 42 in Bloomington. So that's why you definitely do need to have the jacket as you walk out the door. The skies are completely clear. Any fog that is out there, that will burn off very quickly once the sun comes up. You see the arc here? That's the cold front that went through yesterday with that quick burst of rain. I think the bigger issue was the wind that kind of kicked up, and then the temperatures that were falling behind that front. And as we work our way throughout the day today, we start off with that patchy fog. Temperatures in the 40s still at 8 a.m., 61 degrees by the noon hour. Your 5 p.m. temperature takes us up to right around 70 degrees. So it does turn into a very pleasant day for us. More on your extended forecast, Lauren, coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, in terms of traffic, everything is quiet right now. This is I-465 and West 86th Street on the northwest side. No issues here to slow you down. Well, new this morning, a plan to give citizens more say in police policy and oversight has been approved by the Indianapolis City County Council.
WRTV's Kelsey Anderson, she joins us live this morning to explain what this means for you and all of people who live in Marion County. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So it was a late night last night here at the City County building as the City County Council discussed many things, but everyone really listening for the decision on Proposal 237, which was approved last night in a 19-6 vote after a very contentious conversation. So the plan adds 4 civilians to IMPD's General Orders Committee. That committee is tasked with overseeing the department's policies and procedures, including everything from uniforms to internal affairs and deadly use of force investigations. Rick Snyder, the president of the Indy Fraternal Order of Police, says while he welcomes civilian input, the proposal goes too far in stripping the chief of police of his power.
We welcome civilian input in that perspective at the table, but let's not destroy clear lines of authority, and I keep saying this, accountability for a singular person, the chief of police. You now don't have a chief of police. You have an advisor in police that provides advice to this board, but this board will direct the police department. And it's alarming to know that it can be done with people who have zero law enforcement background.
So we also spoke to Pastor Clyde Posley of Faith in Indiana, who was in favor of the proposal. He says it's a step in the right direction of rebuilding trust between the community and the police, saying, quote, "I think that the cornerstone of any great democracy is shared governance." Now, an amendment was added to that proposal saying that residents with a felony conviction cannot serve on the board, and those members of the board will also have to complete the Citizens Police Academy and other trainings. That way they can be more familiar with police policies. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Good morning to Zionsville, Greenwood, and Tipton. For the 6th day in our state, the state is now reporting more than 1,000 new cases of COVID-19. The State Department of Health confirmed 1,581 new cases in its latest report. That brings Indiana's total case count to more than 136,000. 6 new deaths were also reported on Monday. 3,568 deaths have been confirmed since this pandemic began. Nearly 1.5 million Hoosiers have been tested so far. 9.1% of those have come back positive. The number of COVID patients in Indiana hospitals is at its highest level since May. As of Sunday, 1,238 people were hospitalized with the virus. According to the Associated Press, hospitals have seen a 65% increase in patients since last month. That's just before Governor Holcomb allowed the state to move to stage 5.
Here at 5:06, when it comes to the impact of the pandemic on livelihoods, up to 250,000 people right here in Indiana are at risk of being evicted. So right now, that is according to a new study, 150,000 evictions are expected to be filed by January. That's despite a national moratorium on evictions. So Patrick Vick, he's at risk of being evicted. He lost his tech support job at a software company when businesses first shut down in March, leaving him with no income and no way to pay his rent. After Indiana's statewide moratorium on evictions ended in August, the CDC issued a federal moratorium effective September 4th. In order to be eligible, you must use best efforts to obtain all government assistance for rent or housing, earn no more than $99,000 a year, be unable to pay rent due to substantial loss of income or hours of work, and use best efforts to make partial payments. So Vic, seemingly meeting all the criteria, emailed his landlord this new information, but they still moved forward with evicting him.
I literally don't have anywhere to go at the moment. You know, I don't know what people do in that situation. I know that there's 300,000 Hoosiers that are in the same situation, 40 million Americans. And so the fact that we're all about to crash out of the economy and be homeless is mind-boggling to me.
So after reaching out to us, we put Vic in touch with the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. It's a free clinic that anyone can utilize. With their help, he was able to avoid eviction through the end of the year. You can connect with that clinic at nclegalclinic.org.
An influential figure with Hoosier ties will soon be honored with art in downtown Indianapolis. Work is now underway on a mural for Eva Moses Core on the south wall of the 500 Festival Building on Virginia Avenue. Core, a Holocaust survivor and someone who really advocated for forgiveness, lived in Terre Haute for 59 years. She died last year at the age of 85. The mural in her honor expected to be finished by the end of the month.
A new source of water for people across central Indiana is set to begin operations this spring. Citizens Energy Group shared a sneak peek of the Citizens Reservoir along Oleo Road up in Fishers. President and CEO Jeffrey Harrison says the 3 billion gallon reservoir will fulfill growing demand and create a more resilient water supply.
This reservoir will provide some 30 million gallons per day and really insulate our 8-county service area from droughts, and then provide water for what we're seeing as tremendous growth over the next few decades.
Citizens says the new reservoir will be the largest new water supplier in central Indiana in almost 60 years. And we haven't got a lot of rainfall, Todd, right now, but we got some yesterday and it moved through in the evening hours.
Yeah, you know, it went through really quick. I told you yesterday it was going to be that quick burst of rain, and that's what it was. And then we had those gusty winds with it as well. That's all through. It's a calm morning for us, but with the moisture that we do have out there and the cooling temperatures and the clear skies, we have developed a little bit of patchy fog. Notice a kind of a donut look here with the the clear skies in and around the metro area and then back through the airport and into portions of Hendricks County. But less than a mile in Lafayette and Crawfordsville, right at 1 mile in Spencer. Then from Greenfield over into the Shelbyville area, we have a visibility that is down below 1 mile as well. Now, as far as the kids heading off to the bus stop, you need the jacket this morning. We're in the 40s all across the area. And then as we work our way throughout the afternoon hours, it is going to be nice and pleasant. You can send the kids outside once they get home. We're looking at mostly sunny skies and high temperatures right around 70 degrees.
Todd, thank you. Another COVID-19 vaccine trial being put on hold. Coming up, the problem stopping progress for Johnson & Johnson.
Amazon Prime Day is now underway with major online sales. Working for You will show you how to stay safe from scams while you shop. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday, October the 13th.
It is 5:13. Election Day is 3 weeks from today, and President Trump back on the campaign trail last night. He held his first rally since his COVID-19 diagnosis.
Lauren, but the rising number of coronavirus cases and hotspots is a growing concern across the country. ABC's Mona Koza-Abdi has the latest.
Fresh off his COVID-19 test that came back negative, President Trump last night in Florida tossing out Make America Great Again mask and saying he feels great.
I feel so powerful. I'll walk into that audience. I'll walk in there. I'll kiss everyone in that audience. I'll kiss the guys and the beautiful women and everybody. I'll just give you a big fat kiss.
In a new letter, White House Dr. Sean Coney says the president is not infectious and that he tested negative on consecutive days. At his first rally since being hospitalized, Trump defended his handling of the pandemic.
And if you look at our upward path, no country in the world has recovered the way we've recovered economically or otherwise.
This morning, COVID cases are on the rise in 32 states, and 14 states have hit a record number of hospitalizations. In North Dakota, only 29 ICU beds are available statewide. And in Wisconsin, nearly 2,000 new cases were announced just yesterday. At Trump's rally, his supporters seemed unfazed by the surge in cases.
To me, it's like the flu. You know what? And who don't get sick, everyone? So everybody gets the flu. You get over it and you go on with your life.
In Ohio, Joe Biden holding a drive-in rally. Supporters honking their horns instead of clapping as Biden called the president irresponsible.
His reckless personal conduct since his diagnosis has been unconscionable.
Overseas, as the UK announces new restrictions, one official at the World Health Organization is making headlines for speaking out against lockdowns, saying they should not be used as, quote, the primary means of controlling the virus, but should only be used to buy time to organize resources and protect health workers. Mona Koza-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
At 5:15 today, the Senate will move into the second day of confirmation hearings for Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett. The conservative appeals court judge is expected to be questioned more on health care. Barrett will also be asked about her approach to legal precedent and the election. Senators will ask her questions in 30-minute segments. You can watch the hearings on the WRTV app and streaming on devices like Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV. Those hearings begin at 9 a.m.
So, Lauren, another COVID-19 vaccine trial has now been paused due to an unexplained illness involving one of the participants. The company Johnson & Johnson was in the late stages of testing and says that one participant in the trial became ill. In a statement, Johnson & Johnson said illnesses or adverse events are expected in clinical trials. Temporary holds on large medical studies are relatively common, but few are made public. A separate company, AstraZeneca, had also paused its vaccine trial because someone became ill in their study.
Workers have a right to safety by law, but an advocacy group claims its new report proves that those laws aren't being enforced when it comes to COVID-19. The National Employment Law Project looked at OSHA data from April to early August. They found more than 1,700 workers filed complaints over the coronavirus safety concerns, and only 2% were investigated and resolved. Debbie Berkowitz is one of the authors of that report, and she says OSHA should have acted with emergency temporary standards for safety during the pandemic.
But instead, the administration has done almost no enforcement in this pandemic to protect workers. against employers that flagrantly violate the CDC guidelines, because they're just guidelines. They're not mandatory.
In a statement to the Washington Post, OSHA said it's committed to investigating these complaints and that the amount of closed complaints are consistent with its average. The time back here at home is 5:17. Let's get a check of our forecast right now with Todd Clausen. What can we expect for our Tuesday?
You know, it's really going to be a nice day for us, Lauren, across the area. One little tiny speed bump or hiccup, if you want to call it, in the forecast this morning is a little bit of patchy fog that is going to greet you in just some areas this morning. It's not widespread. We are not looking at a lot in the way of dense fog, and there's no advisories out there, and that should burn off really quickly here throughout the morning hours. This afternoon it's going to be great. It'll be sunny, wind not an issue, temperatures very seasonable, actually a few degrees above normal, and then this evening the skies are going to be clear as well, so get out there and enjoy. I mentioned the visibility though, and you do notice some areas here from Lafayette to Crawfordsville and then off to the east here in portions of Hancock and Shelby County, even into Rush County now, the Rushville area, visibility down below 1 mile. Columbus as well. So this does include a lot of areas where interstates go through. And I always tell you those higher rates of speed on the interstates, you say you're going through downtown Indianapolis here, it's just fine. And then all of a sudden you get to Shelbyville and you run into that dense fog. So that's why you just got to slow down if you see those visibilities reduced in the area you're living in or traveling in. And then you'll be just fine. Use those low beams as well. You know, there's a little fog here with the lights down across the campus of IU. And that is just about it. So we got some rain yesterday. It was kind of really nice to have that rain move through and just kind of listen to it hit the house and the windows and move through very quickly. But we're still well below normal, not only for a very long stretch, which included September and the end of August, but for the month of October. Look at this. We're 1.2 inches below normal in Bloomington, about the same in Indy, and then just under 9/10 of an inch below normal in Muncie. So we need more in the way of rainfall. The only other opportunity this week, it looks like, will be a situation very similar to yesterday with a front going through, and that'll be during the day on a Thursday. Look at these 30s this morning. Greencastle, Terre Haute, 37 degrees, 43 in Indy, 40 in Greenfield and Richmond. You're at 43 degrees, so definitely need to have the jacket handy this morning as you walk out the door. And a big difference compared to yesterday when we were in the 60s in many locations. We're in the 40s through 9 a.m. Sun comes up. Those temperatures start to warm pretty quickly. Any fog that's out there will burn off very quickly as well. And then we'll be left with sunny skies here throughout the day today. You look back off to the west and not a whole lot going on. These showers, they will not impact us here throughout the day today. Highs today right around 70 degrees in northern locations, about the same here through central portions of the state, 72 in Martinsville as well as Shelbyville, and then highs right around 71 to 72 degrees in southern locales as well. This evening we cool off very quickly once that sun sets. Prepare for that. Sunset 7:08 now this evening, and then as we go throughout the next couple days, that front goes through on Thursday. That's the next chance of some scattered showers. Not a lot in the way of rainfall. Does give us a bright Friday, Saturday, Sunday stretch, but much cooler, Lauren, with lows in the 30s and highs only in the 50s.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. Maybe you're on the east side of Indianapolis or Hancock County. Good morning to you. This is I-70 at Midhofer Road. You can see traffic traveling eastbound and westbound, moving along up to speed. No lane restrictions in this spot to slow down your commute. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on your east side commute throughout the morning and let you know if there are any trouble spots you need to avoid. Raphael?
So, Lauren, Amazon Prime Day is now underway. Of course, it was delayed because of what? The pandemic. But here's a consumer alert. Please be aware of scams that are now popping up on this Prime Day. Researchers say there's been a significant increase in the number of fake websites made to look real or feel real by the hackers on Amazon and other online retailers. Cybersecurity experts say you should look for that little lock icon next to the website's address to show that the site is reliable. You should also never have to enter your birthday or your social security number to buy something and avoid public Wi-Fi when shopping. It's also a good idea to reset your Amazon password before shopping big events like Amazon Prime Day.
If your password and email for one account got leaked and it's the same one as your Amazon account, a hacker can take that and test it out.
Yeah, so experts also warn about emails or texts about Amazon Prime Day. They say that links often take you to malicious sites instead of the actual website. And it's always best to open the app or go to the website yourself as a sense of security. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, look at this. You can now buy new and exclusive fruit, the pink pineapple. These are slices of pink glow pineapples. Yes, they actually grow that way. After developing the fruit for 15 years, Del Monte Fresh Produce released this on Monday, and the company says they take about 2 years to grow. They're hand-picked on a farm out in Costa Rica. They don't come cheap either. Each one costs $49. So the company says it's worth the price, explaining that pink glow pineapples are supposed to be juicier and sweeter. You can buy them only online at pinkglowpineapple.com. Each pineapple also comes with a certificate of authenticity. So there you go.
One pineapple, $49?
Yeah, pretty steep.
I think I'm gonna stick to the cans of the chunky pineapple, which I think is $1.25 with my Kroger card. That's a different story.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So fishing is a popular pastime, but have you heard of magnet fishing? No, I haven't. The treasures these guys are finding with this unique hobby right after the break, right here on Good Morning Indiana, with a big pineapple just for you.
Welcome back. So 2 brothers, Raphael in South Dakota, are being watched by thousands for fishing.
So Lauren, get this. They're not really looking for fish. They're looking for hidden treasure at the bottom of lakes and rivers. I want you to meet the Kinslers because they cast big magnets and grappling hooks to find historic objects down below. They normally fish from bridges, and they capture their finds on their growing YouTube channel. Sometimes their catch includes hubcaps and old signs, and other times they really get lucky.
This is by far our best find, but it's actually an 1863 Remington black powder revolver.
Okay, so right now the brothers do magnet fishing as a hobby on weekends, but they say someday they hope to travel around the country and see what they can find. All the best of luck to them. And speaking of magnets, we've been able to attract some warmer temperatures in what is usually a much cooler fall season, Todd Clausen.
Yeah, you know, we've been running above normal now for about 5, 6, 7 days. Yesterday we got up to 74 degrees. Today probably not quite as warm. The trade-off though today more in the way of sunshine, and we won't have to contend with those gusty winds. So that is the good news. There's a little bit of patchy fog here this morning. That'll burn off very quickly. Then you see with the sunshine how the temperatures climb. 61 degrees by the noon hour. Highs today right around 70 degrees. Today's probably the best weather day of the week. Tomorrow will be the warmest, but it becomes very windy throughout the day. We'll talk about that and the next chance of rain coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Well, some parts of central Indiana are waking up to dense fog. Now at 5:30 when fog will lift, and how the rest of your Tuesday is shaping up. Marion County residents will now have more say in police and policy and procedures. We're live with reaction to the passage of a controversial proposal. And if you're helping feed families in need, there's a new effort to support your mission. Working for you, details on the Indy Food Fund grant program, how you can apply. Good Morning Indiana continues right now.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday, October the 13th. Lauren, how are you today?
I'm doing great. A little costume change here at 5:30, Raphael. He just wanted to match.
I felt bad for Todd looking so casual on this Tuesday. He forgot his jacket at home, so I thought, you know what? Let me ditch my jacket and put on a vest and a tie just to make my brother feel good on a Tuesday. You know, we get to be a certain age and we forget things, and Todd, I feel your pain.
I know, but at least you look a little more dapper with the vest on.
I know,
you know?
wow.
I just got the tie.
I may take it off.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I forgot my suit jacket this morning as I walked out the door. Grabbed the coat because I needed that for the cold temperatures. I know exactly where that suit coat is sitting on my chair in the living room. All right, 0.8 of a mile visibility in Lafayette. So visibilities are reduced in some areas, but we don't have that real dense fog that I think is going to cause a lot of issues across the area, although we're getting pretty close to almost no visibility there in Columbus. That's where the visibility is the lowest. So just be aware of that as you walk out the door this morning. There's no fog advisories out there, though. That is the good news. What do you need to grab before you go? Well, definitely need the sunglasses today from start to finish. It's going to be a sun-filled day, and the medium weight jacket is needed because temperatures right now are sitting in the 40s. 43 in Kokomo as well as Shelbyville. 46 is the current temperature in Bloomington. The cold front that went through yesterday with that quick little burst of rain, and we had some gusty winds as well. But otherwise, clear skies from start to finish throughout the day today. 61 degrees as we work our way into the noon hour, with high temperatures today eventually getting up to right around 70 degrees. Still above normal, not quite as warm as yesterday. The trade-off, though, sunshine makes all the difference in the world. Yesterday, we had a little bit of sunshine at times in the afternoon hours, but overall cloudy sky. So today, best weather day of the week. More rain chances in our extended forecast. I'll let you know when they arrive, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now where you're at. This is I-465, a little west of Emerson Avenue near the Beech Grove area. You can see here traffic is traveling up to speed. No issues to slow you down. I did just get word of a crash that could impact your commute near this area. It's on the south side as you're traveling eastbound on 465 and you're near the Harding Street exit. We have a right lane blocked in that area. That one just happened. We'll continue to monitor that and let you know if there are any delays, but right now it looks like everything is still traveling up to speed. Raphael.
Well, Lauren, keep us posted on that crash. New this morning, a plan to give citizens more say in police policies and procedures and oversight has now been approved by the City County Council in Indianapolis. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson, she joins us live this morning with what all of this means for you and everyone who lives in Marion County. Kelsey, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So that vote came in late last night, just before midnight. The City County Council approving Proposal 237 in a 19-6 vote after contentious conversation. So the plan adds 4 civilians to IMPD's General Orders Committee. Now that committee is tasked with overseeing the department's policies and procedures, including everything from uniforms to internal affairs and deadly use of force investigations. Pastor Clyde Posley of Faith in Indiana, who is in favor of the proposal, he says it's a step in the right direction of rebuilding trust between the community and the police.
I think that the cornerstone of any great democracy is shared governance. It doesn't, and I mean shared, it doesn't take anything away. I've worked with Faith in Indy in this process of developing this. In no way is it designed in any way to take anything away from the police department, what job they are doing. It is simply the people who are being policed asking to have a say in how it's done. There is no interest in defunding. There's no interest in dismantling the police. I wouldn't want to be in any state where there are no police, but I deserve the right to be protected and served and have a say-so in how I'm protected and served, and that is done well.
So we also talked to the president of the Indy Fraternal Order of Police, Rick Snyder, and he says while he welcomes civilian input, the proposal goes too far in stripping the chief of police of their power, saying, quote, "You now don't have a chief of police, you have an advisor of police. This board will direct the police department, and it's alarming to know it will be done with people with zero law enforcement background." Now, an amendment was added to that proposal saying that residents with a felony conviction cannot serve on the board, and then also that the board members would have to go through training such as the Citizens Police Academy and learn some more information about what it is to be a law enforcement officer. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Let's keep talking about your public safety. The City County Council also approved an increase of $7.7 million in IMPD funding. Here's a look at the breakdown of how those dollars would be spent. $2.7 million would be used for body cameras, leases, as well as legal settlements. About $1.1 million would be used for vehicles and equipment. The largest portion, $3.3 million, would cover personnel costs, including the full funding of 1,743 officers. The only change to IMPD's budget request was an amendment that required the department to report to the council on expenses related to its mental health unit.
Well, last night's votes come after at least 7 homicides in our city over the weekend, bringing the total this year to 160 intentional homicides. That's one more than the most ever in our city, and there are still nearly 3 months left in the 2020 calendar year. So we spoke to Chief Randall Taylor about the issue, and here's what he had to say.
This has been a very difficult, not only here in Indianapolis, but other major cities across the country are dealing with dramatic increases in their numbers as well. So, whether we say it's COVID related or a combination of COVID and other systemic issues, I think those are at play. But as you know, those are not things that the police department has a whole lot of control over.
This afternoon, Chief Taylor and Mayor Joe Hogsett will speak at 2 o'clock to discuss how they plan to address the growing violence in Indianapolis. You can watch that press conference live on the WRTV mobile app.
Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic right here in our state. For the 6th straight day, Indiana is reporting more than 1,000 new cases. State health officials confirmed 1,581 new cases in their latest report. That brings Indiana's total case count to more than 136,000. 6 new deaths were also reported on Monday. To date, 3,568 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19.
Health officials also updated the school dashboard statewide. 422 new student cases, 85 new teacher cases, and 110 new staff cases were reported. To date, 2,387 students have contracted the virus. The school dashboard is updated every Monday at noon.
So, Laura, let's put this all in perspective, right? The rising number of coronavirus cases comes about 2.5 weeks since Indiana entered stage 5 of the state's Back on Track plan. Now, since Friday, there have been nearly 7,000 additional COVID-19 cases reported. And experts say the reopening and the loosening of those restrictions does not mean that Hoosiers should relax when it comes to social distancing or masking up.
We still need to practice social distancing and should be masking, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of each other, because otherwise the hospitals could get overrun this winter.
The State Department of Health says it's providing more than $30 million in funding to increase access to COVID testing over the next 2 years.
It is 5:39. If you run a community garden, farm stand, or something similar that helps to feed neighbors in need, you could be eligible for financial help. A new grant program called the Indy Food Fund will offer between $500 and $10,000. The deadline to apply is Friday, October 30th. For a link for the application and a list of requirements, you can go to WRTV.com and click on that story.
A newborn baby is safe after being surrendered in a safe haven baby box. Authorities say the infant was dropped off last week at Fire Station 74 in Decatur Township on the southwest side of Indianapolis. The baby is the 5th to be surrendered in a safe haven baby box this year and the 9th since November 2017. The box at the fire station in Decatur Township was the 3rd installed in the United States. Baby boxes have alarm systems that notify 911 as soon as a baby is placed inside. The boxes have also heating and cooling features. Indiana's safe haven law allows a parent to bring a child who is 30 days old or younger to an employee at a hospital, an ER, a manned fire station, or law enforcement agency without facing prosecution for endangering or abandoning a child. The time now to check your forecast on this Tuesday morning. And Todd, it feels cooler outside. Is it cooler, or is it just that I'm getting old and cranky and think it's getting cooler?
No, your age is just fine here, Raphael. It is about 20 degrees cooler this morning than it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning was nice and mild. We were in the 60s throughout much of the morning in many locations. This morning, we're at 42 degrees in Indy, and we're dealing with a little bit of patchy fog that has settled in. Lowest visibility here in the Shelbyville area, where we're down to 1/10 of a mile. That extends down towards Columbus as well. Seeing some improvement here off to the west. But obviously, with these reduced visibilities and spots as you start your day, just give yourself a little bit of extra time on the roadways and as the kids head off to the bus stop as well. We'll stay in the low 40s here this morning, but once the sun comes up, we'll burn any fog off very quickly, and we'll warm up to right around 70 degrees as everybody comes home from work and school. Really a pretty nice day for us. We'll talk more about your extended forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Day 2 of the Supreme Court confirmation hearing of Judge Coney Barrett is kicking off this morning.
As ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports, 2 major issues will take center stage: health care and abortion.
Do you solemnly swear that...
This morning, a new and likely more contentious phase in the hearing of Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Beginning today, 12 Republicans and 10 Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee, including Vice Presidential candidate Kamala Harris, will question the Supreme Court nominee.
Replacing Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg with someone who will undo her legacy. President Trump is attempting to roll back Americans' rights for decades to come.
Senate Republicans, who are confident they already have the votes to confirm Barrett before Election Day, say her Catholic faith should be off limits.
But what your political opponents want to paint you as is a TV or cartoon version of a religious radical.
But in a united front Monday, Democrats stayed away from personal attacks on Judge Barrett, instead making her confirmation about the fate of the Affordable Care Act, with the Supreme Court set to hear arguments on a challenge to the law next month.
Stripping health care from millions of Americans during a pandemic, that's really what is at stake.
Barrett has criticized the 2012 Supreme Court ruling that upheld Obamacare. She will also face questions on abortion. She previously signed an advertisement calling Roe v. Wade infamous and calling for the unborn to be protected in law. During her opening statement, Barrett said her philosophy has been shaped by her mentor, the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia.
But courts are not designed to solve every problem or right every wrong in our public life. The policy decisions and value judgments of government must be made by the political branches, elected by and accountable to the people.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden dodging questions still about whether he supports adding more justices to the Supreme Court. Biden saying yesterday he's not a fan of the idea, but he wouldn't rule it out. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
So this morning, a warning from the FBI as we head into the final weeks of the election. Scammers, they may be targeting you before you cast your vote. Officials say that scammers are using fake websites and email addresses to pose as legitimate election resources. That could lead to giving away your personal information or having your computer infected with what's known as malware. To avoid becoming a victim, the FBI says to check the spelling of websites and email addresses. Oftentimes, scammers will use a .com instead of a .gov or misspell words. Remember, never give out any personal information via email.
The time right now is 5:48. In-person early voting is already underway here in the state of Indiana, and it continues through November 2nd. That's the day before Election Day. So far, thousands of Hoosiers have already cast ballots. In Marion County alone, the clerk's office says 8,328 people have voted early. That number was last updated on Sunday. Around 5,500 people voted during that same time period in 2016. According to the county clerk's office, 1,240 people voted on Tuesday, the first day of early voting. The previous county record was in 2016 when around 900 people showed up for the first day of early voting. For a list of early voting sites, dates, and times in your own county, you can go to the Vote in 2020 digital section of our website, WRTV.com.
This morning, the Zog fire in Northern California has killed 4 people and burned more than 56,000 acres in the Sierra Nevada mountains. This is a big fire, as you know. Faulty equipment owned by Pacific Gas and Electric is now being examined as a possible cause of the fire. PG&E is the same company that pleaded guilty back in 2018 to a campfire there, the deadliest, most destructive fire in state history. And there is some good news this morning, however. Cal Fire officials say that the Zog fire is nearly fully contained. And of course, Todd, we've been watching this situation out west for several weeks now. Anything that brings some relief or stops these fires is good news for those folks that live there on the West Coast.
Yeah, absolutely, Raphael. It's been a real rough go of it the past couple months with the heat and the wind and the lack of rainfall. We've had the lack of rainfall here in central Indiana. I'll show you in just a second how much we got yesterday. But we've been talking about this morning, how different the temperatures are this morning compared to 24 hours ago when we were in the 60s in many locations. 22 degrees cooler this morning in Bloomington, 20 degrees colder in Indianapolis, and 16 degrees colder in Peru. That puts our temperatures right now in the 30s and 40s. As far as yesterday's rain, I warned you it wasn't going to be a whole lot. 0.6 of an inch of rain fell officially at the airport yesterday, and so our streak continues of days in a row with less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. We're officially at 54. Today will be the 55th because we have no rain in the forecast for the day today. 43 degrees, that's the current temperature in Indianapolis. The wind, that kicked up as that front went through yesterday. The wind is now calmed. That's the good news as you get going. But look at these 30s that are out there. From 38 in Greencastle and Lafayette, 39 degrees there. 38 over in Hancock County in the Greenfield area. In Richmond, you're at 42. Visibility getting better here off to the west, still reduced from Greenfield down into the Shelbyville area. Columbus at a half mile as well, so just be aware of that as you take to the roadways this morning. But it's not super dense. The visibility is reduced, but it's not getting all the way down to the ground. That is the good news. Temperatures today will climb through the 40s, 50s, into the 60s pretty quickly this noon hour, and then eventually highs will be right around 70 degrees with all of that sunshine. The cold front now fully through the area, moving through Pittsburgh right now. Back off to the west, a few scattered showers in Iowa, and that's just about it. Those will not impact us here today, as highs will top off in the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees for most of us across the area. Now this evening, if you have plans, we will see these temperatures drop off very, very quickly once the sun sets into the 60s and then eventually into the 50s. And tomorrow morning as you wake up, temperatures similar to today. We are in the 40s, so you'll definitely need to have the jacket again come tomorrow morning. And then the rest of your day tomorrow, it's actually warmer for your Wednesday. That's the good news. We get all the way into the mid 70s, maybe even the upper 70s in spots. More in the way of cloud cover, though, building in during the afternoon. And the other issue tomorrow is it's going to be pretty windy. So that's why I think today is the better day, simply because it's 5 degrees cooler but completely sunny and without the wind. Another front goes through on Thursday with some scattered showers. Behind that front, Lauren, it gets chilly. Lows in the 30s, highs only in the 50s for Friday and Saturday. The good news, if you have weekend plans, though, lots of sunshine both days.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you are heading out on the roads this Tuesday morning. Here's a live look on the west side at I-465 near I-74, Crawfordsville Road. Traffic here is traveling up to speed there on the interstates. No problems to slow you down. And we did have a little crash reported at I-465 at Harding Street on the south side. That looks like it is cleared. All lanes are open. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your commute and let you know if there are any trouble spots you need to avoid.
So, Lauren, a little boy fights back against intruders who broke into his home. After the break, see the tense moments unfold as he tries to save his family. The details coming up right here on Good Morning, Indiana.
Welcome back. It is 5:55. Raphael, some frightening moments for a South Bend mom and her brave young son, and it was all caught on camera.
Yeah, so 4 men are seen bursting into their home. At least 3 of them were holding guns. And so Tamika Reed is telling us that she was just focused on keeping her kids safe. That was the bottom line. And so her 5-year-old son David did his best to fight back against them. As you can see from the video, which has now gone viral, it was posted by police to try to get more leads on this developing case. And many who watch it are commenting on the bravery of little David.
I'm just, my whole thing was my hero right here. He was steady trying to hit the guys. My thing was, I need to get him out the house before they do something to my son.
Hit him.
Yep.
I tried to throw my car at them.
You go, David. As always, never let David will always beat Goliath. When the intruders did leave, no one was hurt and nothing was taken. South Bend police are still looking for those intruders. On this Tuesday, time to check your forecast. And Todd Clausen, it's a nice, cool one out there.
Yeah, without a doubt, Raphael. Temperatures in the 30s in some locations, such as Lafayette, 43 in Kokomo, as well as Indianapolis, Bloomington at 41. Radar is quiet. Some of you may went to bed a little bit early yesterday evening. We're still dealing with those rain showers moving through. They are now completely out of the area, so it is completely dry for us anywhere you go in central Indiana. Some of you dealing with a little bit of patchy fog, but overall a mostly sunny day for us once again with above normal temperatures as we top off at 71 degrees. Our average high this time of year is 66, so it's another above normal day to get out there and enjoy the sunshine. More on your extended forecast and your latest news headlines coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.